Hey y'all, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Maudie and I'm glad to have you here. Today is going to be a little different type of video, something I've never done before. I'm going to just show you how I clean my kitchen. My kitchen normally doesn't look this bad, but the last few days have been out of the normal for us. My husband was off work for several days. He took some vacation and then he didn't go back until yesterday. And then yesterday, we actually had really bad storms in our area. We ended up having a tornado last night and we thought it was coming towards us, but it turned. So it did hit, but about 10 minutes north of us. So we were up till probably close to 1 o'clock, just trying to make sure everything was okay. And then I have kids that are really scared of bad weather, so I had to deal with that and just assure them that everything was all right and that everything was moving out of our area. But it was scary for a little bit, so I gave myself some grace. I didn't worry too much about cleaning up last night. We also had a whole 24 hours 2 days ago that we couldn't use our kitchen sink because it got stopped up. Thankfully, we were able to unstop it, but for that 24 hours, we were having to wash dishes in our bathtub and our bathroom sink, and my daughter also had a lot of bakery orders at that time, so that just made for even more of a messy situation, just for the fact that she was cooking so much and having to wash everything. We have to get the water really hot for her bakery stuff. We want to make sure everything is really clean, and we don't have a dishwasher, so all of our dishes are hand washed. So anyway, it was just a mess, and my kitchen just got piled up and I just did not have the mental energy or the physical energy to just do what I needed to do. And once it gets piled up like that, I don't let the kids clean it. Like, that is their chore, to keep the dishes washed and kind of keep the kitchen tidied up. And then, of course, I do an overall tidy, like a deep clean of it. But I don't believe in just sitting around and being lazy and then tell the kids, oh, hey, you go clean up the kitchen because I've let it pile up all weekend. That's not what I do. So I threw my apron on and I got busy. This here, ashamedly to say, is my old sourdough container, and I had filled it up with water a couple of days ago, and I just let it sit there to soak, and it ended up molding on the top. So I called a couple of my kids and told them, hey, could you please go and empty this water jug out? And it was sourdough jug. And so my daughter and my son come rushing to do it. I was actually calling my son to do it, and my daughter grabbed it. She was so excited, and then she realized it had mold on it. So she passed it to him. He's coming in now. He was coming in there to ask me about washing his hands. I told him, just go to the bathroom, wash your hands really good, which it wasn't nothing but water, but still, it did have mold on the top of it, so it was really gross. And anyway, we got that taken care of, and that is now ready to be washed. But anyway, here I'm just spraying off my counters with some thieves cleaner. That's what I like to use. I just buy a bottle of the concentrated solution from Young Living, and then I can make a whole bottle last about 6 months. And that is primarily all I use for my kitchen. Like, I make multiple bottles, spray bottles of it. I just put a little bit of thieves concentrate into a spray bottle, and then I fill it up with warm water, and it cleans and disinfects, and it doesn't have a chemical smell because it's not a chemical, it's natural. And that's important to me just for the overall health of my family, and also with asthmatic children. That is a really big thing to me. I don't like a lot of scents or perfumes, and thieves just doesn't have a bad smell. It's very soft. I also mop my floors with it just by putting a capful and some water, and I can scrub my floors, and it really, really does good. And if you're looking for something natural, I would definitely suggest that. If you can find someone who sells Young Living, you may even be able to just order it off the website. I'm not sure how that works, but check it out. It's really, really good. And I'm also here talking to my husband on the phone on my watch, he had called me to tell me about his day and how things are going. He works for our local street department, so his whole area was where the tornado hit, and he had a lot of cleanup to do today. There are so many people without power still in our area, but thank the Lord we didn't lose power. We normally do, but we didn't lose power, and I'm so glad because we've had to use our nebulizer 3 times since last night, and we have asthmatic kids, as I said earlier, and so when the power goes out, it really worries me that we won't have access to our nebulizer, and I just have to try my best to not think about that because it will really overwhelm me. It just makes me so nervous thinking about my kids not being able to breathe and not having the things that they need. We do have inhalers, but they do not work as well as the nebulizer. So anyway, I'm sitting here talking to him while I'm trying to clean. When I clean, I end up getting distracted usually. I have to really just try to keep on focus, and it's hard to do, and maybe you experience the same thing. I have a lot of little kids who they're usually trying to talk to me about something, or here you don't see it, but my 6-year-old, he's sitting in the kitchen and he's listening to his dad talk, and then after we get off the phone, he starts asking me all these questions about the storm and asking me, can I take him to Walmart to buy a toy gun and just random things. So I'm trying my very best to stay focused on my task at hand, which is getting this kitchen clean. And when I clean, I take everything and set it to the side, and I just focus on one area at a time. I find that works best for me. I'm able to get things done that way, and I don't overwhelm myself by saying, oh, I have to do all this right now. So here I am just doing that, putting the things back because I've cleaned everything up at this point on that side. I'm setting my sourdough back, and the cups, those plastic cups, I use those for the kids. That's their cup of the day, and everybody has a color, and that just makes it really easy for everyone to keep up with their cups. And so if they know their color, they're not wondering where their cups are, because the rest of our cups are glass and they're clear, just cannon jars. So the plastic colored ones really come in handy. I notice here I've got several rolls of paper towels, and I think that's just my brain. I don't know why. I've just got those 2 rolls, and then I've got random rags and all this stuff, and I'm just trying my best to get everything cleaned up. I've got my crock pot there. I moved it over because it had we used it yesterday, had to get rid of it. And I opened this here, my drawer, my cabinet there, my cabinet's where I keep my pans. I open it and I'm very tempted. I almost stopped what I was doing, almost took everything out and reorganized that whole cabinet, because I tend to do that. I can just jump around because I'm so scattered, so I'll jump around from task to task, but still staying in the kitchen, of course. But it's hard for me if I see something that needs to be organized. I'm like, oh, I need to organize this, but I resisted, and I just put what needed to go in there, and I shut it, and I wrote it down later that I would organize that cabinet, and I'm going to. Here I have a loaf of bread that my daughter made. She had made for someone, and they did not pick it up. And so I was asking her, what do we do with it? Because it's 2 days old, so we're actually just going to use it. The person didn't pay, and they didn't pick up, which is why she normally requests that people pay up front. But this was kind of like a pop-up, so, it wasn't like something that you really could request payment up front without sounding kind of rude. So she didn't do that, but for the most part, she gets paid up front. But we'll eat the bread. It won't go to waste. I'm cleaning off my cabinets here, and again, I'm using my thieves cleaner. I can clean my entire kitchen with it, top to bottom, and it does great. Now, I don't put it on my stainless steel per se. I actually just use a little Dawn soap on that. And I don't, if I'm deep cleaning like my stovetop, I'll spray some on there. But if it's a deep clean, I put Dawn soap on there, which is what I did today. I sprayed a little bit, and I thought, yeah, this is not going to clean it up. put my Dawn soap on there, use my scrubby, and you'll see that in a minute. And I just end up scrubbing the front of the microwave and the whole stove from top to bottom. And in this video, you're also going to see that it kind of just abruptly cuts off. I didn't realize my phone storage was full, but it was. And so it cut off. It wasn't recording, and I don't know how long it had been cut off when I noticed. But what I did was I went ahead and finished the kitchen. I went ahead and finished everything. I vacuumed my floors. I mopped my floors, put everything in its place, and then I took a quick video to show y'all what it looks like when it's actually cleaned. And now, before I sped this video up, it was like 34 minutes, and that wasn't even me getting really halfway done with the kitchen. It ended up taking me about 2 hours probably to clean the kitchen, because when I clean, I really clean, and I want to get everything put away and everything scrubbed up so it's easier to navigate around in there, because, you know, to me, like, the kitchen is the hub of the home. So if I'm cleaning my kitchen, if I'm in there at least all day. Some days there are days that I'm truly in the kitchen all day long, because I cook 3 meals a day. You know, my daughter runs the cottage bakery business, so we're in there for that. And then, you know, we just live in the kitchen, it seems like, or at least it seems like I do at times. So I have to have a clean kitchen. I feel like if the kitchen isn't clean, then, you know, I don't want to cook food in a nasty kitchen. I don't want to serve food in a nasty kitchen. I feel like that's something that just makes me motivated to just reset the whole house. When I do a deep clean like this, it gives me a lot of energy, even if I don't feel like doing it to start with. And I think that's something, I struggle a lot of times with just anxiety and depression. And so I can get into this mindset of almost feeling sorry for myself, and I really just have to pray, and I have to just ask God to help me, and I have to pick myself up and make myself get up. And once I make myself get up and I get started, I feel a whole lot better. And once everything is done, I feel really good. And I guess it's because I accomplished something. But cleaning and managing a home when you have anxiety or you have depression, it's a struggle at times. And there's been plenty of times where I've just gotten behind because I just haven't had the mental energy to get up and do what I needed to do. And thankfully, I do have an adult daughter at home, and she helps me. But it's just, at times it's really hard. And then I have a lot of, like I said, little kids talking to me. I'm delegating tasks out while I'm doing this as well. They're cleaning up the living room. They're putting away laundry. They're in the other side of the house doing their chores. So we're all just working at this time and getting everything done so we can have a nice clean home. And it just makes me feel better if our place is clean, especially our kitchen and our bathrooms. And our bathroom's something I have to tackle later this week. Something else that helps me is I just make a list on paper or on the notes, on my phone. I just make a list and I say, these are the things that need to be done. And it doesn't necessarily have to be done a particular day, which there are days that I will say, okay, we've got 2 weeks that we need to get all these tasks done. And I break the tasks down day by day. Or if it's a huge task, it might be 2 days. Whatever, I write it down, and then I look at what I need to do to make that happen, and I go with that. Laundry is something that we're constantly doing because we are a large family, so we're constantly washing clothes, we're constantly putting away. My older daughters, they do that for me, and I'm teaching my sons to do it too. I'm teaching them to put away the laundry because that was something that I always did. And with my depression, sometimes the way I'll just feel like I'm trying to make myself not feel overwhelmed, but I can get overwhelmed easily. And I'm like, oh no, we've got all these clothes and I need to put them all away. You can see my little daughter, she's got clothes where she's doing laundry. She was asking me about something, did it need to hang or fold? And I just decided that, hey, these little kids, they're good kids and they want to learn. They would always ask me, hey mom, can I put up the laundry or can I do whatever? And I would always say no, because I do it a certain way And I just had to let that go. And I just want to encourage you, if you're in a season where maybe things are a bit hard, or maybe you're going through something physically and you're not able to do the things you would normally do, it's fine to enlist your kiddos to help you. And it's teaching them life skills. Now, I'm not talking about sending them to be slaves and like clean the whole house from top to bottom with a toothbrush. I do not believe in that. And I think that that is wrong. And it's your home, and it's your home to clean, but they certainly need to know how to do life skills. I mean, they're going to do life as adults one day, and if you don't teach them these things, where are they going to learn? So I had that big thing of bananas there that basically wasted. They had gotten too ripe. Some of them had to be thrown away, but I was able to put some in the freezer because my daughter makes banana bread, so I did that. And I can just see that I was just sitting here looking at everything going, wow. I'm still probably pretty overwhelmed at this point, just because I'm like, I have all this stuff to do. And my little boy was just asking me question after question. So I finally sent him off to help his brothers with some of their chores, and he happily goes off. I always try to stay calm, especially when I'm cleaning and doing things. And if the kids ask me something, I want to be able to answer them and not sound like I'm so flustered. Because if I am flustered, it's not at them. I have great kids, and I'm really thankful. But here I call all the kids in, ask them to stop what they're doing, and I call them and I start sending them into our storage room to put up our groceries. Again, there I am. I'm tempted to just clean that cabinet out, but I didn't. But I'm getting all this stuff and making piles of things that need to be thrown away. These were cakes that we had left over from the weekend when my daughter had made a bunch of the baked goods for her pop-up, and unfortunately a lot of those leftover cakes, the pieces of them got wasted because somebody, when the kids were getting them, one of the kids didn't put the foil back over them and they dried out and we couldn't eat them. So I had to throw those away. But obviously that's where it cut off. So here I am at the end of this video, and I'm just showing you what it looks like. Clean. I've got everything pretty much in its place, and I've got lunch cooking there. So that's why all the pans are over there on the counter. But I had wiped my cabinets down, mopped my floors. I did all the things. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, just try your best to just let it be, do the best you can, and don't be discouraged. Thanks for watching.